Thanks for joining us here on WHO13.com. I'm Erin Kiernan. Very happy to have with me here today Andrew Allen, a good friend and also the president and CEO of YSS. Thanks for being with me.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Erin.
There's so many things we could talk about with regard to the work that you do at YSS, but today we're specifically talking about Reggie's Sleep Out. Tell people why they should care about this event and the money that it raises.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is our 20th anniversary. And so in 2001, a young man, Reggie Kelsey, aged out of the state's foster care system. Just a few months later, they found him dead in the Des Moines River from what was an apparent suicide. And we know young people that age out of foster care are vulnerable for lots of things like human trafficking and mental health issues and suicidal ideation. And so a safety net of support to ensure that we don't have any more Reggies is why we created the event just a few years later. So in 2005, we had our first event. 2025 represents our 20th anniversary, and the need has never been greater. So this is an important year to participate.
So tell people what YSS does, and specifically under the YSS umbrella, Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, because that's where young people like Reggie find that support that you're talking about that's so critical.
Yeah, you got it. YSS is focused on a behavioral health continuum of care for youth and young adults across the state. But in Des Moines, Polk County, we've got a niche focus on transition age homeless youth. There's lots of great nonprofits doing good work in this community. There was one segment more than 40 years ago that wasn't being addressed, and it's that transition age homeless youth that's not involved in a system. And so YSS is providing comprehensive support, everything from street outreach. I know that you've helped us down there, to housing. You and Michael helped us develop 6th Avenue Flats, just an amazing property that gives dignity to young people, and supportive services across the board from an employment standpoint, education standpoint. So YSS is really trying to ensure that kids don't slip through the cracks, that they're given every opportunity to be successful, that they're cared for well, and it's events like Reggie's Sleep Out that help get that done.
Okay, the event is cool, and we're trying to make it really big this year. So just explain to people what it looks like and what they'll experience if they get involved.
Yeah, when we were dreaming about a fundraiser for Iowa Homeless Youth Centers more than 20 years ago, it didn't feel right to do a gala or a ball or even a walk or a run. And so born was this idea that we would sleep out. And while you're not going to necessarily know what it's like to be homeless, you will feel some discomfort. And it's a visible demonstration of support for youth who might not be able to advocate on behalf of themselves. So it's a entertaining event, but it's also moving. And we will be gathering at Drake University Mediacom Stadium November 1st, so not too far from now. Registration takes place all day from noon until 8 p.m. There's a program. There's a boxed-in design contest. We'll have cardboard donated and tape so people can create structures that they can sleep in. And again, while they won't necessarily know what it's like to be homeless, this is a tangible act, something that you can do to actually make a difference. Tell your friends and family. Erin, there's more than 7,000 kids in Iowa who are homeless every year. More than 700 right here in Polk County associated with Des Moines Public School System. And you just think everybody deserves a home, but especially every young person. And so the more that we can do this year in our 20th anniversary to raise the level of awareness, to raise funds, to advocate on behalf of those that can't advocate on behalf of themselves, the better.
I want to get back to that statistic that you just cited, because I want to make sure people hear this. 700 children just in the Des Moines School District are homeless.
You've got it. And they will even say they think it's underestimated. It's likely more than that. And youth homelessness is different than adult homelessness. You might not necessarily see it like you do on the streets of Des Moines. These are kids that are in some temporary living situation. They might be doubled up with another family. They could be couch surfing. They could be in cars. And so we've got countless demonstrations of young people who've been helped by Iowa Homeless Youth Centers. A young woman just last spring, Roosevelt High School, was a senior, had aspirations to go on to college, and was in an extremely unstable living environment. Olivia, she shared her story. And she needed respite. She needed to get out of that situation. We brought her into Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, our emergency bed program. We got her supported. She graduated high school. She spoke at one of our events. She got into 6th Avenue Flats, the project that Michael developed, and she's at Drake University today. And so I just think about stories like Olivia's and how different that would have been without our work, how tragic Reggie's story is. But out of something difficult and adversity comes, you know, a new solution and a safety net, and the work that we're doing today.
Yeah, it's so important. Andrew, thanks for being with us today. Thanks for continuing Reggie's Sleep Out. We're really excited about it this year. And if you want to get involved, you're going to find all the ways you can do that on our website right here, who13.com.